ministers that are wrapping up the last hours of the last meeting before the UN climate negotiations will begin in Copenhagen within a matter of weeks. Possibly the most important meeting since World War II will be taking place here. These ministers are now working on a mandate of delay rather than a mandate of possibility, and we need to change this. Climate change is causing over 300,000 people's lives to be lost every year. That's over 300 deaths a day from climate change, over 80 deaths an hour. We've been standing here for 1 hour, and in that 1 hour, 80 people have died because of adverse effects from climate change. Every hour there's not a climate treaty, there's another 80 people that die. People are dying from a number of different effects. People are dying from droughts throughout the world. As sea level rises and floods inundate islands, communities are lost. Heat waves throughout the world are killing people. And as temperatures rise, diseases spread, killing even more people. These people lying here are representing the 300,000 people that will die next year if a climate treaty is not achieved. I now want to read an excerpt from a speech from His Excellency President Nasheed at the Climate Vulnerable Forum. President Nasheed is president of the Maldives, one of the most impacted countries of climate change. His speech begins. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we gather in this hall today as some of the most climate vulnerable nations on Earth. We are vulnerable because climate change threatens to hit us first and hit us hardest. For us, climate change is no distant or abstract threat, but a clear and present danger to our survival. Climate change is melting the glaciers in Nepal. It is causing flooding in Bangladesh. It threatens to submerge the Maldives and Kiribati. In the recent weeks, it has furthered drought in Tanzania, the typhoons in the Philippines. We are the frontline states in the climate change battle. Ladies and gentlemen, developing nations are not the cause of the climate crisis. We are not responsible for the 100 years of carbon emissions which are cooking the planet. But the dangers climate change possesses to our countries means this crisis can no longer be considered someone else's problem. Carbon knows no boundaries. Whether we like it or not, we must all fight this together. For all of us gathered here today, inaction is not an option. We cannot cut a deal with Mother Nature. We have learned to live we must learn to live within the fixed planetary boundaries that nature has set. The problem is already on us. We have precious little time to which fight. Some might prefer us to suffer in silence, but today we have decided to speak. So I make a pledge today. We will not die quietly, ladies and gentlemen. We will not die quietly.
We will not die quietly.
We will not die quietly. We will not die quietly.
We will not die quietly.
We will not die quietly. We will not die quietly. We will not die quietly. We will not die quietly. We will not die quietly. We will not die quietly. We will not die quietly. We will not die quietly. We will not die quietly. We will not die quietly. We will not die
Hi, Minister.